Good afternoon. Today I am going to be covering a 10-inch round foam disc with glitter. Just to jazzy it up a bit, I'm doing some cake pops in the Frozen theme, so lots of blues and silvers and snowflakes and things like that. My daughter's turning 7, and this is her theme of choice. I thought rather than just stick the cake pops in a boring white styrofoam, I'd try and jazzy it up a bit. So I'm going to be using Mod Podge, as you can see there, Mod Podge, to coat the styrofoam. Got my trusty paintbrush, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with frost and silver glitter, which I got from my local craft shop, if you can see, lovely blue and silver. Okay, so first, I've also put down a piece of butcher's paper to catch all the excess sprinkles. I don't really want a big mess all over my cutting table. So first I'm going to be very liberal, I guess, with my Mod Podge. I want lots of sticky surface, but I also want it smooth. I don't want it all built up, so I'm going to get lots on the top there, lots of glue. Obviously this is going to have to be done in stages, top, sides. I'll also be adding a sign later, a happy birthday, which you'll see, so I might just put a little bit more in the middle. Make sure it's good and coated. And of course there's a cap on these that I hadn't taken off. Protection, which always means you'll spill some everywhere. At least I will, getting this thing off. Be lucky if I don't lose half of it. Oh, look at that. Wasn't so bad. Now this one is quite like a bit like a salt shaker or a spice shaker, in that it has two options for pouring. It's got a straight pour, so I suppose if you're putting it into a bowl to mix with Mod Podge or something like that, you can just pour it straight out, but it also has a sprinkler, so it doesn't all go on. So we're just going to sprinkle it all just wherever over the Mod Podge. Need to be generous, and the excess will just fall off as wastage. You want to make it blend, so a bit of silver over the blue, and then because Elsa, my daughter's favourite, is the queen and has the blue dress, we'll go over with a bit more blue, so we'll just tap off the excess. This is what we've got so far, if you can see it. So it's a little bit eclectic, but it's much more interesting than just your plain old white styrofoam. And we'll do the same thing with the sides once this one's dried. Get some more on the sides over here, and we'll go with the blue all around the edges. Just tapping off the excess. There really isn't much, so it's stuck very well to the Mod Podge. Very happy with that. And then we leave that to dry, and then we'll start on the sides. Could actually probably start the sides. Might even just do some of the side now, actually. So same thing, nice and liberal with the Mod Podge application. Oop, don't lose it. Obviously the heavy side's going to slide around, so we'll have to find something to hold that up. I've lost some Mod Podge over the side to clean that off. And it was like 2 down there. And then again, so we've Mod Podged the side up, and then some silver. Oh, gosh, that came out heavy on that one. Okay, gentle with the silver. Otherwise it ends up a bit too silvery. Cover that with some more blue. Okay, now because I don't want that tipping and rolling away from me, and I'm going to let it dry, I'll put the lid back on the Mod Podge, and I'll actually use it as a break on that side, and just one of the glitters on the other side. So we'll leave that for a little while to dry. I didn't really show it to you, did I? Yeah, that's my side, all lovely in blue and silver. Very shiny. Wedge those in between there. We'll let that have a dry and we'll come back later, do another corner. You'll do this a few more times until it's all done. And I'll show you the finished product. Okay, our disc is now complete. I've done all around the edges in the glitter. As you can see, I just want to be delicate. So the top, obviously bottom hasn't been done because no one's going to see that. And if they do, well, they shouldn't be looking down there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put just a little Elsa sticker on. It's not the best in the world, it's one I've printed off on the computer with clearly a printer that needs a bit more toner. So it's a little bit grainy, but I know my daughter's not going to judge it like I do. So I'm just going to figure out where I want it. So I'll grab my Mod Podge again. Got my sign down here. I'm just going to put the glue on the back of it. I'm not really going to worry too much about being right out on the corners because I'm going to go back over it on the top with the Mod Podge to seal the edges down. So now I've got my glue on. I'm going to place this on the edge, roll it down, and then as I mentioned, I'm going to go over it with the Mod Podge. Just seal it. Obviously I don't want it too thick on top of the sign, but I do want it to stay put. I want all the grain to flow through the same way, so I'm just being a bit finicky. And then again, we wait and we let it dry. Always making sure I put the lid back on my Mod Podge so it doesn't dry out. As you can see, there it is stuck on there. So when we have all the cake pops on the top, which you'll see later, it'll have the lovely sign, and my daughter will be, hopefully, be very happy with what I've spent my time on. Okay, here is the finished product. Here is the cake board that we made with the Elsa picture, all sprinkled with the silver and the blue, and it's all filled up with the cake pops that I've made. Now, I was a little bit worried that they weren't all going to fit, so I've had to squish them all a bit together, but I'm very happy with the end result, and I believe my daughter will be too. It's really